Hey everybody, welcome back to the Whiskey Cove, and on today's episode we have part 3 of the 1792 Bourbon Battle. Run that videotape. Okay then folks, let's get into this whiskey battle, shall we? And as usual, we have the 4 contenders here in front of us, whereas only 1 space available in the championship final. As you might have already watched, if you've seen part 1 and 2, we have Sweet Wheat and 12 Year already in the final. These are the 4 remaining ones with 1 space remaining. So we have from left, or your right to your left, we have single barrel, we have small batch, we have full proof, and we have bottled in bond. I have no idea which way this is going to go. I'm so excited to see which comes out on top. So let's get these glasses shuffled and let's get into the blind tasting. Okay then folks, all these glasses are shuffled and ready to go. I have no idea which is which, so let's get into the first glass, glass 1. So this is glass 1, glass 2, glass 3, glass 4, and then we will start on your left and then we'll finish on your right. So then let's get into glass number 1. Straight away, beautiful color, as it is with a lot of these 1792 whiskeys, but this is a very nice light color. Big sweet apple punch up front. That is a fantastic nose. Also again, that nice cherry note as well. I guess that cherry, that Italian cherry cream is coming back from last time. Some beautiful rich caramel and vanilla notes there. Very inviting nose. It's a fantastic start so far, so let's go in for a taste. So on the palate on this one, big, beautiful, sweet caramelization notes up front. Some barrel char there as well. A touch of spice, nothing too much. Maybe a little bit of cinnamon there, but not hot whatsoever, and not too over spicy whatsoever, which is fantastic for the whiskeys I like. So on glass 1, some beautiful sweet notes up front. Those sweet notes coming through from the nose came straight through to the palate. Again though, I'm getting some of those apple notes, and then some really nice vanilla is there as well. So it's kind of like a vanilla ice cream with some caramel and apple pieces on top. Fantastic start so far. This is going to be hard to beat. I don't know why, but this glass, the first glass I try, always seem to do well. But so far, this is a good whiskey. Let's move on to glass number 2. So straight away on glass number 2, a lot more of a drier nose. I'm getting not so much of the sweet notes that I was getting from the first glass. I'm getting a little bit more heat with this one as well. And maybe a little bit more of like a toasted oak note. So a little bit different to glass 1, but nevertheless also some very unique and some interesting flavors. So let's get into the taste on this one. Cheers. So on the palate on glass 2, again a lot more of those dry notes coming through. I'm getting some leather and tobacco there. There's a little bit of sweetness there which carries through, but nowhere near as sweet as, like I said, as glass 1. Also getting a little bit more of rye spice. The first one had a little bit more of a cinnamon note going on, but maybe I'm picking up some more rye spices in this one here. I'm also getting a lot of black pepper. Maybe that could attribute to the spice as well. Maybe it's either like a rye spice combined with a bit of a black pepper note there. And I'm also getting a bit more of a cereal note on this one as well. Again, not sure if that's associated with age or not, but it's definitely there, more like a cereal grain. And then lastly on glass 2, I'm also getting a honey note as well. So this little bit of sweetness that I am getting tastes more of like a honey note there. It's definitely more towards the back end though. So then moving on to glass number 3, let's take a nose of this one. Straight away again, like a really nice pecan wood on this. A little bit of candied orange as well, very inviting nose. A touch of vanilla and then a touch of spice as well. Let's go in for a taste. So what I will say about glass 3 is that it's very balanced and it's very approachable. There's nothing too offensive. There's nothing offensive in the flavor. There's nothing too spicy. There's nothing too hot. I think it's very well balanced. But then when you taste a little bit more through the layers, there's not too much going on there. So this is kind of like a an everyday bourbon, I guess. Like, so this could be like a really good daily drinker. I feel like this could also be like for someone first getting into bourbon. I think this would be a fantastic whiskey for them to try first. But again, if you're looking through some of the more complex notes and you're looking for a little bit more flavor, you're not going to get that through glass 3, but it's very well rounded. So then lastly, let's move on to glass number 4. Again, I'm getting that cherry note like I did in the first one. Didn't really get it from these two. Got a little bit of citrus from this one, but I'm getting mostly a lot of cherry and vanilla for this. Kind of like a cherry hard candy, I think would be the note that I'm thinking of here. Like a hard candy powder with some powdered sugar on it. Again, I'm also getting some more of the pecan wood as well, which is a really nice note combined with the cherry candied note. And then I'm also getting some bacon spices there and a little bit of rice spice. So then let's go in for a taste on glass number 4. So on glass number 4, on the palate, I'm getting some of that cherry is still coming through, but I'm getting a lot more bacon spices. This is a lot more spicier than the other 3. I'm getting some of the rice spice as well, but it's really well balanced. It's not too overpowering at all. Okay, yes, the whiskey is mostly more of a spiced whiskey, but it's not overpowering. It's very balanced between the spices. Let's go in for another taste. So even though it's a lot spicy up front in the palate, the finish ends really nice and sweetly. I feel like there's a little bit of age there as well on this. That oak spice is definitely coming through there, and that cherry note kind of goes through the whole whiskey here. So that's a very good whiskey as well. So now I've gone through them from 1 to 4. I'm going to pause the video, I'm going to go through them a couple more times, and then we're going to come back and then we're going to put them in order and see who joins the championship final bracket. Okay folks, welcome back. We have them in order, we have them 1 through 4. This one was a lot more difficult than the other 2. I just feel like these were more on a level playing field, as they probably will be in the championship bracket as well. But I feel like there was a lot more difficult on whole. There probably could have been 2 winners today, but ultimately I had to choose 1. So with that being said, let's get into 4th place, and that is going to be glass number 2. So let's see what glass number 2 was. So glass number 2 was D for Delta, and that is 1792 full proof. So comes in last place overall in this blind, so that is 6th place. I feel like you get a lot of those barrel notes, but you also get a lot of like just straight up corn or grain ethanol that comes through and just really disrupts anything else that's going on there. Possibly could have something to do with the store pick, but from my own experience from full proof, that sounds about right. So coming in last place in this whole blind is 1792 full proof. Okay, so let's find out what came in 5th place overall in this blind competition. So that's going to be my glass number 3, which is B. Let's find out what B was. So B was small batch. That, again, small batch is a phenomenal whiskey, and I think anybody, like I said, getting into whiskey or getting into bourbon should definitely try small batch. Let me get the bottle. I feel like it was very well balanced. I felt like there was nothing offensive in the flavor, but there just wasn't too much going on there. So as you came to pick it apart, there just wasn't much left of there. But you had this incredibly balanced bourbon with some really nice vanilla notes and candied orange. So, for $25, $30, you should definitely pick up that bottle. So with that being said, coming in at 4th place in this whole blind, and just missing out on the championship bracket, we have glass number 4, which was C for Charlie, which is bottled in bond. So 1792 bottled in bond. It wasn't as spicy, I feel like, as it was last time. Or I feel like at least the spice and the heat kind of combined well and balanced it out a lot better than it did the first go around. But I just felt like ultimately it didn't have enough to compete with what came in number 1, which was, of course, and let's make sure I got this right, A, and that is, of course, 1792 single barrel. I just felt like this was a little bit more complete than the other ones. I just felt like this had a little bit more layer and a little bit more depth than the other ones. And ultimately, it was so close between this and bottled in bond. I feel like bottled in bond on a different day could have beat this one, or on someone else's palate could have definitely beaten single barrel. But that being said, of course, single barrel goes through to the championship bracket, where it will be joined by Sweet Wheat and 12 years, and then we'll finally find out via blind who is the best 1792 bourbon. So that's all we have time for today, folks. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel as we continue to make this community grow, as we drink through the world's whiskies 1 glass at a time. Cheers.